What it do, y'all? Hey, yo, I want to have a talk with y'all about like why it always seems like when things are going right, things just end up going sideways. It's wild, man, because I was just thinking about like how life is, like life and how life is like up and down, and it's like I'm in the middle of a renovation, and I'll be like I'm still trying to finish up stuff now, but I remember maybe 8 months ago after I end up doing some things like already, like I was moving a bunch of products, dealing with a renovation, and I remember how everything was going good. And you ever notice when things are going good in life, everything runs smooth, but for some odd reason, it always seems to have a curveball somewhere. And on all of a sudden, one day I go to my grandma's house. I said, "Yo, let me take the time out of my day. I know I've been working on the cribs and everything, trying to finish off a renovation, and I went to go pick her up to go grocery shopping. In my pickup, luckily, thank God I got more than one vehicle, but my pickup is my car, my truck. I need to move stuff. I need to haul stuff. If I'm framing, I need to pick up supplies from Home Depot. And what's weird is I went to go pick her up. Right as soon as I pulled up to her crib, I don't know why I end up walking in the front of my truck instead of the back of my truck, but I walked from the front of my truck, and what did I see? A leak. I seen liquid pouring from the front of my vehicle, front of my truck, and I look, and as I look, I'm looking. It took me maybe like 5 seconds. I realized, yo, my God, this is transmission fluid. I looked at my grandma. I said, yo, grandma, I'll be back. I gotta run home. My son, I threw my son back in the truck, pulled off, jumped on the highway. As I'm on the highway, I'm saying to myself, man, I hope my transmission, I hope this joint ain't going bad. But I already knew in my head, like, damn, yo, this can't be happening right now. I made it all the way. No, when I say luck was on my side, I made it all the way to the shop. The shop was closed, but I made it to the shop to be able to park my truck. As soon as I pulled my truck up, why my truck did not go in reverse? So I pushed my truck face forward, jumped out. I'm like, damn, we're gonna walk to the crib. I told my son, come on, we're going because my crib was only like a couple blocks away. So I made it to the shop. I get the phone call maybe like 3 days later because the shop ended up opening up on a Monday. It was a Saturday. So he calls me, and right away he told me, yo, it's your transmission. He said it's a leak. It was a bad leak. Like all of it came out. So I knew right then and there, all right. Hopefully it's not going to cost. I'm not going to get hit over the head. He calls me back. Next thing you know, he like, look, you're going to need a new transmission. But I sealed it. I did everything. So you should be able to drive your truck, go forward, take it to the shop, and get it done. Soon as I get that phone call, when I pick my truck up and I take it to the new shop, right away, within 2 days later, when they got to my vehicle, told me I need a new transmission. And next thing you know, I'm sitting there. I'm like, man, I might spend maybe about 35, maybe about 35. I'm thinking in my head 35. And now it's a Silverado. I love my Silverado, but at the same time, I knew that, damn, I done spent all this bread in this truck, got the truck redone, new radio, had the truck lifted, had a 10-inch monitor radio and everything up in the truck. The suspension, like I damn near spent almost maybe 10,000 on customization on my truck. And it's funny because when we think about how things are going good, things seem to turn out bad. Not to say that you got bad luck, but it just seems that way. Like people be saving money, they got things planned, and things just go haywire. It just switches up and goes into a whole nother direction. So once I get the phone call, how much the transmission, the rebuild is going to be, I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to spend about 335. So, man, when I got the phone call, he told me, yo, it's going to be about 42 to 45. I'm like, oh my God, man. So I sat on it for maybe 2 days, contemplating. I'm like, nah, I'm going to just off the truck. I'm going to go ahead and get a new truck. Now, mind you, I love Chevy. I don't know. I think I love Chevy. I felt good about my Silverado because I had it for so long, and I'm like, nah, I want to save the truck. So I calls him up and I said, yo, how much is it going to be if I just go with a rebuild instead of a brand new transmission? Because he was like, well, a rebuild would be this. And then he told me what it would be if they put all the parts and pieces back up in my transmission. So when I did the math and I did the numbers, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Yo, after maybe 3 or 4 days when they got the transmission in, I get a text message. And then after the text message, I get a phone call. And I missed the phone call, but I see his text message. It said, call me back ASAP. Um, if you can stop past the shop, stop past the shop. It's urgent. I knew right then and there, come on, man. My luck can't be that bad dealing with this truck. Now, mind you, the week before, I already put a washer and dryer that I went to pick up already. And I'm so glad I got that out the way. It's like I got that out the way. It was the major supply that I needed to put up in this apartment after the renovation. Like I did all the stuff in the bathroom, and I said, "Yo, I gotta put a washer and dryer up in there, up in the apartment before I rent it out." So I said, "Let me go get that." Mind you, I was able to handle that a week before. I'm so glad I did it. So instead of calling back, I said, "Yo, I get off of work soon. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go past the shop." The When I got to that shop, he looked at me. He said, "Hey man, we got a problem." Now, if I'm about to spend about 4,500 on a transmission, it should be no problem. You would think it would be no problem. This is why I say, when things are going good, something happens to throw a wrench in your way. Like it's something always happens. I don't know why it's like that. So he takes me out to the shop, and as I'm looking at my truck, I'm looking at it, and I'm just looking at it like, oh man, please. I'm hopefully he gonna say something that's not gonna cause me to feel like, damn, I gotta, my truck is going. Something in my soul told me your truck is going. It ain't no saving your truck. For him to tell me to come to the shop, so as he started talking to me, he said, "Look at this." I'm looking. Then he like, "Yo, look at this." I'm looking. Yo, he showed me all the rust on the bottom of my truck, on my frame. As he proceeded to show me more rust on the Silverado. Now, if y'all look up Silverados, if y'all truck people, mind you, I got a car too. That's my deli. But my truck is my baby. So as he proceeded to show me more stuff on my truck, and it's all dealing with rust on my frame. Oh, he showed me the middle part of my frame. And as he showed the middle part of my frame, he looked over at me and said, "Hey, the reason why I'm showing you all this, we can't put your transmission in." He said, "In order to put your transmission in, you got to have a new frame." He said, "When I lifted your truck up and we started to work on taking the pieces off to put your transmission in," he said, "Dog, your truck started to collapse." I said, "Damn." So I'm looking at him. I'm like, "Collapse?" I know what he meant. But in my head, I'm sitting there thinking to myself that it's got to be a way. This cannot be all. Like, this can't be the end of, like, bad news. So when I look at him, I'm like, well, is there anything that we can do? Because I put a lot of money into this truck. He looked at me and said, "Look, man." He said, "This is what I do. I make some calls." And he said, "I'll get back to you. And we'll see where it can go from here." So from that point, I end up getting a phone call maybe 4 days later. He let me know right away. He said, "Hey, your truck's done." So when he told me that, he said, I'm gonna tell you why. He said, I had two people come. They come to look at your truck. He said the first guy said, we probably can work around it. We probably can put little pieces here and there to make his frame strong. But I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be costly. The second dude he had come, he straight told him, I'm not touching this. He said this he said he needs a brand new frame. Period. I wouldn't trust a truck like this. Once I got that phone call, I already knew I gotta let it go. I gotta let it go. And I knew right then and there, like, damn, I'm about to be out of a lot of money because now I gotta get my truck picked up. And now I gotta get a brand new pickup. So when I look at people, when they going through stuff out here, I understand the feeling of feeling like everything is stacked against you. Because this is the sad part about life. When things are going good, things are feeling like everything is gelling, like everything feels smooth. It does seem like things always happen. Like I remember last year when everything seemed calm. Like I remember my mom was going through her thing, and she was going through stuff, and she was dealing with little medical situation. And what was crazy about that situation is my mom was feeling like really like messed up, and I remember her calling me telling me that things wasn't feeling right with her. So mind you, you know in life, you know when things are feeling like crazy, like when things feeling too good, it's always something that end up happening that'll just throw everything off. And I remember the phone call I got from my mom late night, and she says something is wrong. I have not been able to go to sleep. And when she told me she had not been able to go to sleep, I first thing I said to my mom, well, did you do something crazy? Like something that made you feel like are you eating something crazy? And she said, I haven't eaten in almost 2 days. But it wasn't, it had nothing to do, it had nothing to do with eating. She was catching like, feeling like really, like crazy anxiety while she was up home. Like she was home, but she was in the bed, but she was feeling like crazy anxiety to the point she was feeling like real scared, real nervous, like crazy nervous, but she couldn't sleep. And then she started feeling like pains. Like she was getting pains in like her arm, in her chest. And then next thing you know, she said that morning when she felt like she just dozed off a little, but then she got like she was just like, I'm going to the hospital. Something's wrong. Come to find out, my mom was catching strokes. She was catching many strokes. And while she was catching those many strokes, she also caught a heart attack. And they were small heart attacks my mom was catching. That's why she was up throughout the night. And it went on for 2 nights. I thank God that my mom lived through that. So she got in the car going through that. Instead of go to the hospital, she went to urgent care. Hey, at the end of the day, she ended up making it. But when she got the urgent care, she thinking that it's something small, something that she'd be able to get through. Well, she thought she would be able to get through that situation once she got to the hospital. Well, it turns out she didn't just get through it. Once they took her in, it took maybe, she said, maybe about 15 to 20 minutes. Somebody ran back there to the room that was another doctor. They said, hey, check this out. We don't have much to explain to you. All we telling you is we got people, we got a hospital, such and such hospital. It's on their way. We're transporting you. My mom looked at them and said, y'all transport me? She said, yes, we're about to connect you, and we're going to connect you to, I don't know what system they was connecting her to, but was monitoring heart. And as they was talking to her, they was connecting her to everything. Next thing you know, she said, they let her know, look, you had multiple strokes, and we see multiple situations going on right now with your heart to the point where as though you have to be transported because it looks pretty severe. What's going on right now with your heart? So they did not let her know that she possibly is about to have open heart surgery. They just told her the small minimum stuff, and transported her. And when they transported her all the way from Maryland, all the way to Virginia. And when she got to Virginia, that's when she realized she was going into open heart surgery within that next morning. That's how quick things change that fast. But what's weird is looking at a situation like that from my mom going into an open heart surgery, things were looking good weeks prior. But the problem that was sad about that, what's up, Oliver? And the sad part about that is when she caught that open heart surgery, when they was telling her about that, my mom had called me that night before she's about to go on open heart surgery. And she said my sister had told her that, hey, mom, you look like you catching strokes, like you showing signs. And my mom and my sister stay butting heads. So she pushed that off, said, girl, you don't know what you're talking about. Now, mind you, my sister is in the medical field. She's a nurse, but I forgot. She works in a hospital where she's on the side of the surgeon. So I forgot what that is. A surgical nurse, I forgot what her position is. But she knows what she's talking about. So my mom brushed that off, act like my sister knew what she was talking about. Well, guess what? Kind of found out my mom was catching strokes because she showed little signs, but her face looked normal. But then one day her face was a little like sideways, like it looked a little twitchy, and that's crazy because that's what's the signs. So, make a long story short, once she went through that, it just goes to show you that things could be going good in life, but then all of a sudden things can just turn quick. And a lot of times when things turn quick, you looking at life like, damn, what happened? But a lot of times when things are going good, a lot of times we kind of neglect ourselves out here. And I know a lot of us do that, man. Like I even did it in life. Like you will start to neglect yourself when life is going good. That's why they always say when life is good, people tend to get too relaxed and they start doing things they shouldn't be doing because you comfortable. That's why when you comfortability always makes things always happen when the comfortability level is so high. When it's high up there, something ends up happening. That's why, like a lot of times when people, like you ever notice when you saving money, you doing all the things in the world, you stacking your bread, everything going good, and then all of a sudden something happens that make you spend money when you already have money set to the side, already planned. You already had plans. You made plans to do the things that you wanted to do with your money, and then all of a sudden, a hot water heater go, or your car end up going down. Something always happens. It feels like that sometimes. That's why sometimes it feels like bad luck out here. Sometimes it does. I don't know why. It just feels that way. No, I mean, I don't know, man. I think that's just life. Life sometimes. Like I was just looking at this situation with the guy, and it was the guy, the truck driver, that actually ended up making a U-turn. Now, mind you, the truck driver that was making the U-turn, he did not understand. They just talked about it a couple days ago, maybe like 2 days ago, and they was talking about that the truck driver literally did not understand how to read signs properly in English. And what was wild is he took out a family. I don't think they were on their way on a trip. I don't know. Somebody said that he was on a trip. Don't know. But at the end of the day, he took out a husband, a father, a wife, a mom, and a child. Took out three people. And it's sad because when you look at a situation like that, it makes you actually sit back and say to yourself, how can a world like that be turned upside down just that quick, that instant? And you think about it, you had three people in the vehicle on their way as a family. I think about that, not a solo, as a family. And you get a truck driver that decides to make a U-turn, and then all of a sudden, just bluntly, just end the life of three people that are all tied together. Life, life is wild right now, man. And what I'm learning now in my 40s, that things don't always go according to plan. And it's wild because a lot of times when we think life is going to go according to plan, it never does. Like, you look at like the relationships that you're in today. It's a lot of people out here that kind of look at their life and they say to themselves, I met my soulmate. I met the person that I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with. But then all of a sudden you'll wake up, maybe 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, 7, 10 years down the line, and next thing you know, you have a change of heart. Or the person you with have a change of heart. We seem to live in a life now where as though people don't really have the same, how can I put it? People don't really have the same goals as each other in this lifetime. Because if you look at life now, you look at how people, it's like when you meet somebody, a lot of things that we really don't ask people when we get together, and I'm victim to this. A lot of times we meet when you meet somebody, you tend to meet them and you meet them from a stand of like, yo, I'm really feeling this person. I'm really attracted to this person. And we don't really know the background of a lot of people. And a lot of times you can kind of look at people from a view of, damn, I'm in love with this person. But you really, a lot of times, might not really be in love with them. You just infatuated with them, like the way they look, the way they make you feel. And I'm talking about for man and woman. A lot of times when you're looking at situations and they end up starting off good, it can turn bad because a lot of times our expectations are not really what we thought that we really wanted. Like, it's a lot of things in life that I thought I wanted in a relationship. And then you get with somebody or certain people, and then you realize in life, like, damn, I'm not feeling this person how I thought. I thought they was giving me the things that I wanted. It's just, I don't know, it's just how life is. When things seem to be going right, sometimes it just turn up and it just ends up going a whole nother direction. I just think that's just how life is. I don't think life is made to be perfect. It's not. And I think that's why you see in a lot of situations, even today, they showed the situation that happened. I forgot what state. The guy walked in the hospital and he went looking for his wife. They said she was in the basement part of the hospital. He offed her. He unalived her. They still didn't get him yet. And they said it was her ex-husband. So I do not know what happened in their situation that made him actually feel comfortable to actually literally go to a hospital, look for his wife or ex-wife, and take her life. Don't know. But I do know this. We have seen more casualties through breakups. We done seen a lot of casualties through breakups. Now, I understand a lot of times, like when you look at breakups, you tend to look at some of these breakups and you say to yourself, like I look at the comments and you'll see, like, especially like in the female sector, like there, I seen one female, not one, I seen a couple say he was jealous because she was younger than him. He couldn't have her no more. Like, be real. When you look at some of these comments, you say to yourself, I understand people are just putting comments out. Like they know these people. They don't know. But I can tell you this, and you see it in many cases, most cases. Normally, during a breakup, in most cases, you see a guy normally lose a lot in these breakups. And they don't just lose a lot. They end up sometimes losing funds or they end up losing their home. They have to leave the home. They probably not only in the divorce, a guy has to pay sometimes the alimony, but most likely this, if there's a kid involved, he's paying child support. It's a lot of different things that play a role in these separations. It's not just a separation. Because if most cases it was just a separation, most people, I'm not gonna say everybody's gonna walk away, but in most cases, guys mostly won't really result to anything. If you could just break up and everybody go their way, and the guy is able to be involved in his kid's life, just like the mother is involved, you normally will see a lot of situations escalate to anything else. But this is the problem: when courts get involved on separations, and things can be good, but things can also turn real bad when the courts get involved. One of the reasons why things can go real bad, when you start taking a certain person's money, which is almost like a sign of extortion. Really is. You work hard, but you're going to get penalized. You're going to get things taken from you. So when you see stuff like that, it make you understand and realize that in this life we live, people will go the highs just to try to degrade you or try to cripple you. And that's what's happening today. You're starting to see a lot of people being crippled. Matter of fact, remember this, if y'all can't remember. Remember another situation that happened a couple of years ago, and this happened outside of Baltimore. No, it happened in Baltimore, but it was in two counties. It was in Baltimore, and then it was in another county in Maryland, outside of Baltimore. This guy made over 250 something thousand a year. Remember that, right? He was a surgical. He was some type of medical something in a hospital. Made over 250 something thousand. He was a very active father. They found out he was a very active father, a good father. This is what happened. He lost his cool. The mother started playing the game of he touched their daughters. Kind of find out the courts found out that she lied. Now you know why the courts end up playing a pivotal role in the woman's death. I'm gonna tell you why. They allowed them to go back to court after a month and a half to 2 months. He had to wait to go to court. This is where the problem lies. If a situation happens and you have the courts that are involved and they're allowing a bad situation to happen, and the father has to wait in order for to do visitation and also custody, nah, it should be an automatic. It's set up that way to make people crash out. So he made a post talking about how foul the mother is of his daughters, and she been spreading lies. Come and find out, he had a baby on the way from his new girlfriend, and she decided to turn around and threaten him with the same situation that he was already going through. Now, when I say she threatened, he said on live, she thought she was going to play that game before the baby was born and say, I'll do the same thing to you, and threaten him. And I guess she felt comfortable to do that because he might have been a guy that they felt as though they could push over. Well, she was mistaken. He ended up unaliving her off of that interaction. You know the sad part? When you look at the clip or you look at the comments of people that talked about that, you look and they say, yo, you can tell the difference from the women and the men. You see, for mostly men, they was like, yo, I can understand how that can happen. You know why? Men and women do not think the same. We do not. Women, you see them saying, well, if he didn't, like they were just saying dumb stuff. Literally, women were just saying dumb stuff. I seen one female in the comment, I remember this. She said, well, all he had to do was just wait, and the course would have rewarded him. You know the bad part? Like when you see these comments and you see women comments compared to the men, men understand the trampoline effects of the up and down cycle when the court system plays the pivotal role and trying to take care of your kids out here. This is why when your life is going good, you can be doing all the things in your life, especially as a man. You can be doing everything right. What's going to happen is, if you have a kid or you got a situation going on, all they need to do is turn bitter. If one person turns bitter and they put you in the courtroom, the court's going to look at you as a free lick. It's just sad how in life, when things can go good, things can always turn around and end up going bad. I don't know why, but it seems to play that way. You know what? They had another situation that happened last week. It was a separation from it was a couple. I don't know what happened, but they had to meet up and come to find out the husband had to fork over 12,000. Then they said over 12,000. He had to write her 12,000 out of his bank account. They rewarded her, and they said in the courtroom, the dude literally said, "Yo, she contributes to nothing. He shouldn't have to pay her." And what happened was she cheated on him. You already know system is rigged. Well, I guess he made his mind up. There's no way a person's gonna walk away and think they're gonna walk away with his money, especially when they did him dirty. So, if y'all look it up, it's another situation where a person end up losing their life. That's why I tell you, man, we definitely in the era now where it's though. Life is definitely one of those roller coasters where it can be up or down, up or down. You don't know which way it's going to go. You just know that whatever direction it's going to go, you want to be able to dictate your own flow. Because right now, we can't really dictate where we're going to be at. We can't. It's hard. How can you really predict where you're going to be at if you have an obstacle of just worrying about things that's out of your control? And one of the things is you're seeing people lose controls because you're seeing relationships. Relationships are not what they used to be today, and they have people going crazy, crazy today. You know, like I'm blessed to be able to take care of my son, but you have people that are out here that want to take care of their kids, and they have to take care of them just through financial and not being there. They have to do it from afar because of the mental games that are being played today. We definitely live in the wild times, man. We definitely are living in wild times, and it's just sad, man. It's sad, and I think that so many of us can learn from other people's situations out here. You know, I don't know. I think this is just what it is now. I think we're just at a point now where it's though we at a point of no return. I, life is scary, man. Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. It is scary because when you think about the financial strain on a lot of people today, it's making a lot of people give up. Like, I remember at a time when things feel like they were going right. And I'm talking about for a lot of people. Can't speak for everybody, can't say for everybody. But I can say for a lot of people out here. We had people literally out here working, busting their tail, going to work, buying cars, looking for homes. Now we at a time now where as though people are really looking for homes. They're looking for a place to stay. They're looking for a rental place. And now we at a time now where as though even the rents are so high, but now people not even focusing on just that. They have to focus on their job. You don't even know if you're gonna wake up to a job. This life right now is like Russian roulette, man. It's like you put a bullet in the gun and just spin it. You don't know when it's going to go off. You don't know when it's your turn. It's just, it's mind games. Hmm. I can see how people can spiral out of control. This is why I'm a firm believer of do not play with people today. Do not. I done seen it at work where a job was taken from somebody and they lost their cool to the point where you like, damn, I might not be coming into work tomorrow. I see dude leave this building a little crazy. You know, you never know, never know. I don't know, man. I think we in an uphill battle, uphill battle. I think that in most cases you're going to see people being able to survive out here, but you're also going to see a lot of people out here not surviving. You're going to see a lot of people struggling, which we are now. We're seeing a lot of people struggle. And what's sad about that is you're seeing people that's from areas and the walks of life that leaving their community that is not the best community and they go into the nicer areas to rob, carjack, like you're seeing it. I think this is where we at now. I think we just at a point now where so we're not going to be able to see how far we can go today if people don't put their minds together and start making some changes out here. You're going to have to. Going to have to. We can't have as many little jobs now and people walking around thinking it's going to be hope out here. It's not. It's not. We'll see. We'll see. Look, man, I'm going to go ahead and I want y'all to keep it safe tonight. So I'm going to call it quits tonight. I'm going to go ahead and spend the rest of this night and chill with my little man. But for all y'all, I want y'all all out here to be able to progress. And not only progress, I want y'all to be able to succeed out here. So just take this away. If you're looking to do anything right now, I don't think you should be scared to jump ship. Whatever you're trying to do, I don't think you need to be scared. I think the scared part goes out the window when you know that your job is at risk. You know that it's your livelihood can be taken. Your rug can just be pulled. I think a lot of y'all, today really do have to believe in yourselves. And if you don't believe in yourself, you will fall victim to what's going on today. So I think y'all need to really, really believe in yourselves. And when you walk away and you leave your job, or if you're on your job and you're looking to leave, just know that if you believe in yourself, you're going to be able to carry your weight. You will. So I'm going to say this. Y'all be safe. Stay on your grind. And do your thing. All right? And y'all be safe.